Of all the insane takes on my channel, this just might be the most unhinged yet. I have almost no basis for this opinion. I have no insider information. I have no voice in my head telling me to stop writing this script or not to make this video. Thusly, here we go. I posit Grinding Gear Games is not only working on the continued development of Path of Exile 1 after over a decade of being officially launched. I posit GGG is not only working on getting Path of Exile 2 out the door and running in front of the masses to be their next foray into the next generation of the ARPG gaming sphere. I posit GGG is not only working on Path of Exile mobile in the background, biding their time to dominate every piece of our souls and not just the PC, Mac, and console gamer aspects of them. I posit GGG is hard at work on a fourth title, unlike anything they've released to the broader public player base of Path of Exile before. I am crazily confident they are working on a Path of Exile trading card game in the background, headed by the man, the myth, the actually still a director legend, Chris Wilson. Why? Well, I have three core reasons. Let's explore them right now. Traveling Exiles, welcome. I am Try. Let's talk some unhinged nonsense. Starting off with reason number one. The people at Grinding Gear Games love three things: ARPGs, stealing people's souls, and trading card games. That love is explicit for a few reasons. Namely, POE is heavily inspired by one of the biggest trading card games of all time, Magic: The Gathering. Its founders and its current set of developers insert references, take design choice ideas, and frame development cycle structure all based on Magic: The Gathering. It's evident they love the game. Plus, during both Exile cons, they decided to develop a mini trading card game for the attendees to play. Of course, this was an in-person experience and only spanned 2 days at each ExileCon, but the game had rave reviews. They put all this effort into a tiny side game for people to play. The love is clearly there, just as it is for Path of Exile 1 and 2. If they were to develop a trading card game, surely it would be wildly successful. Something similar to Hearthstone, but with the typical GGG flair and Rayclast vibe, would be adored by our player base. Additionally, it wouldn't be the first time GGG took something from Blizzard and built something better out of it. Yes, I am talking about PoE and Diablo 2. Okay, reason number two. It's a short one, but important. With the announcement of Path of Exile 3.24 Necropolis and the short teaser for POE2 involving the Ranger, the developers decided to move away from using the term Path of Exile Reveal Livestream entirely. They are now GGG Live. Why would they do that if they are only still talking about POE 1, POE 2, and in the future, POE Mobile? I bet they are future-proofing themselves. They are no longer a tiny studio. They are substantial, filled with over 250 employees and likely more on the way after the assured success of POE 2's launch. They need not only stick to ARPGs and the Path of Exile game forever. Something else is probably coming. Something that won't be an ARPG. It also won't strictly be called Path of Exile. No, imagine it'll be something like Bestiary, or Menagerie, or Metamorph, the PoE trading card game. I feel it. And I'm probably crazy. But what if I'm not? Reason number three is simple, and it has a name. GGG might be developing a PoE trading card game because of Chris Wilson. Chris is obviously taking a step back from Path of Exile 1 and 2. In the latest PoE 1 teaser, done in a pristine fashion by the way, it's Mark Roberts doing the voiceover. He is the game director of Path of Exile, which is the name they are still calling Path of Exile 1 officially. That's a job Chris usually does. And lastly, Chris sat on the couch during the developer question and answer session with Ziggy D, but he didn't talk much. He is being distanced from PoE, but I posit he's not gone just yet. There was an entire fiasco recently in which people thought he was leaving the company due to a filing mistake. People were crushed. People love Chris Wilson. Now, even though he might be taking a step back and doing more CEO stuff, his passion for game creation is evident. It would be a shame for him to step away entirely. He and Jonathan Rogers are a huge reason why PoE remains so successful today. They have a vision and they've carried it out. They made the perfect game for many, but it's not a game that appeals to the masses. Chris Wilson could do this with a trading card game. He is also the biggest Magic: The Gathering fan at GGG. He goes to conventions about it constantly. He also has multiple copies of the most expensive card in the game, Black Lotus. I bet he could make this happen. Trading card games at other companies have failed in the past, like Valve and Artifact. a card game based on the lore of Dota 2. It died quickly, but I think it was because of a lack of passion on the developer's end. It wasn't initially successful, they stopped backing it, and the game died. That wouldn't happen with GGG, Chris Wilson, and a POE trading card game. I'm sure of it. Let's shoot to reason number 4. I keep reading people talking about a developer interview in another language in which GGG developing a trading card game was confirmed. Now, I think I cover every Grinding Gear Games interview, and I do not remember this, but people are adamant. If that's the case and there was a bit of a leak, well, there you go. If it's not true, well, then it just added a bit of fuel to my already unhinged flame. So, my fellow exiles, am I completely crazy? How possible do you think this is? Would you absolutely freak out about a Path of Exile style Hearthstone-esque trading card game? I think I might finally dip my toes into that genre after being away for many years. Let me know in the comments. As always, thank you all for the tremendous support, especially my patrons, YouTube members, and Twitch subs. You all rock. Anyways, that's all for today. Talamoana, traveling exiles.